Yo, what's up, everyone? So, pretty much surprising. I didn't really expect this to happen this quickly. I am here to unbox my brand new phone. I actually just received in the mail today. Awesome. This is the Samsung Galaxy S3, and yes, forgive the books and stuff over there. I was actually doing homework for college, and I didn't realize this came already, but yeah, this is the Samsung Galaxy S3 for Verizon Wireless. A lot of people have been unboxing it for AT&T, Sprint, and other, wireless carriers. Apparently Verizon is the last carrier to get this phone, and my personal opinion on that is I think it's actually a punishment to Verizon customers. And the reason for that is because Verizon actually didn't decide to carry the Galaxy S2. They opted for the Galaxy Nexus exclusivity instead, which actually ended because Sprint actually got the Galaxy Nexus as well. So a lot of people were really concerned whether Verizon was going to actually carry the S3, and I heard a lot of people on different forums and stuff. As I was learning about the phone, a lot of people were saying that if Verizon doesn't decide to carry the Galaxy S3, that they're actually going to leave the service entirely. So apparently, this is a really big deal for a lot of people. This is pretty much the most powerful cell phone to date. Now, before I start this, I'd actually like to dedicate this video to Goat the Great, pretty much my best friend here on YouTube. He's actually the one who actually made me aware of this amazing device, and I'd like to thank him for basically, putting up a tweet on his Twitter about this phone, and I just kind of checked it out and started learning more about it, and then finally it's here. So thank you, Goat. You're amazing. Love you, bro. Thanks for making me aware of this amazing device. Unfortunately, he was going to get this phone as well, but his phone actually broke, so instead he had to actually get a replacement phone, and therefore he would not be getting the Galaxy S3. But nonetheless, I still hope that I can entertain you somewhat and not bring tears to your eyes by doing this unboxing. So yeah, this is the Verizon Wireless unboxing. Now, right now I'm currently using the Droid Incredible, which is a great phone. As you can see, the screen's cracked. That's awful. What happens is I literally I dropped this phone from 2 feet away from the ground, landed right here on the ground, on its side, and cracked this whole screen. But it still worked, and I love this phone, and having the screen cracked for 6 months, I basically just decided to wait unless just get a replacement, and it still worked fine, but now it's going to be awesome. So let's get to the unboxing right away. So this is what the front of the box looks like. Very simple. And then you got the package contains here. Let's actually zoom in there. The phone, the battery, the wall and USB charger, stereo headset, the guides, and more guides, and then it supports. This is the 16GB version, by the way. I'm sorry, but I don't use 32 gigabytes. Did you know less than 10% of people actually use over 16 gigabytes on their phone? I find that interesting. So so I just decided to get the 16 gigabyte instead, which is fine because this Incredible was 8 gigabytes. I didn't even max out on that, so I'm probably not going to be using this phone really for anything. I don't really play games on my phone, but I watch YouTube videos, and we'll get into the phone specs a little bit later. So you actually get this nice little slip thing, this sleeve, so that's nice, and it reveals the box, which is pretty much plain and simple. And then you lift the top up. Here's the phone itself. This is the white version. A lot of people are getting the blue version. I don't know. I don't like the blue version. Call me crazy or just call me, whatever. I don't like the blue version. But this is the phone. It's white. Going over some specs here, the screen is 4.8 inches. So this is slightly smaller than the screen on the PlayStation Vita. But that being said, it's actually a higher resolution. This sports a 720 by 1280 or a 720p screen. So watching videos on this thing, it's going to look gorgeous. So this is a 720p HD Super AMOLED display. You got your front-facing 1.9 megapixel camera, which actually records in 720p video. On the side here, you have your volume rocker. And then on the other side here, we have our power button. And then on the bottom, we got our charging USB connecting dock. Over here on the back, and by the way, this is, even without the battery, this is surprisingly light, really light. A lot of people are complaining that it actually feels cheap, but the thing is, this phone was actually inspired by nature, and they were trying to use like materials. Like I think it was actually, I think some of the elements actually making this phone were actually made from tree bark. I'm not even sure, but it's supposed to be a really nature inspired design, and definitely how it feels and all the materials they use, it definitely does accomplish that. So here's the back. This is the Verizon version. So we have 4G LTE, which is the fastest version of 4G available. Unfortunately, 4G LTE isn't available everywhere. Like, I know it's packed in New York, and then there's a couple locations here in Los Angeles, which is good. You know, at least there's a location here I can actually use it for. On the back here, we have an 8 megapixel camera which does 1080p video, excuse me. And then here's our speaker and our LED flash. And basically, yeah, so that's the phone itself. I'll put that there. It's actually really light. So you take this this thing off next, and oh, hold on, getting in here. It's a little thing you take off. All right. Okay, here's our start guide. I guess we'll take a look at that later. Here's our USB cable, which is just your standard micro USB cable. Nothing really in particular. So if you already have a micro USB cable for your other smartphone, you can basically use the same cable, or keep an extra. Here's our actual earphones that it includes. This is nice, some nice Samsung-inspired Galaxy S3 earphones. So that does come with it. Here's our wall charger, and you plug it in. I guess you plug it in this way, and you can actually the output is right there on the side, so that's pretty cool. Huh. And then last, but certainly not least, is our battery. This is a 2100 milliamp hour battery, so the battery life on this phone is pretty damn good. Now, going on into the more technical specs, a lot of people may not know about this phone, especially, you know, people on my channel may not even pay attention to cell phones at all, but this is pretty much the most powerful cell phone to date. Now, this is the US version, and the US version is actually has a disadvantage, because this the US version includes a dual-core Snapdragon 1.5 gigahertz processor with 2 gigs of RAM. So most phones today have a dual-core 1.2 gigahertz. That's like the standard with 1 gigabyte of RAM. This has 2 gigs of RAM and a dual-core 1.5 gigahertz. Now, the international version actually has a quad-core processor, but again, running at 1.5 gigahertz. So it's the same amount of speed, just one's a quad-core and one's a dual-core. I have no idea. It was some weird California, I think it had something to do with some rule here in the US, I think California more specifically. I had no idea, but for some reason the US version had to be chopped in half when it comes to the processor, but at least they got the you know, the memory speed and the speed and everything like that up to par. So yeah, that is the phone. Really, there is nothing more else to show. That's just the unboxing. Now, I'm not going to go through all the setup and stuff like that, but just to let you guys know, I will be doing a product review on this, a hardware review, in the future. So expect that probably around August. I want to spend a little bit more time, and I'm going to be going over every, you know, different aspects and stuff like that. But this is exciting. This is a good upgrade. I'm excited to play with this. Definitely watch videos on this. I mean, the screen's just going to be gorgeous to watch videos on that. But yeah, so thank you guys for watching. I really appreciate it. And let me know if you're up for a new phone and which phone that you're getting. And yeah, so on and so forth. Alright, guys, so thanks a lot. Thank you again to Goat the Great. You're awesome, man. And I'll talk with you guys later, and hopefully see you for the review. Thanks.